So in this lesson today we're going to be doing an urban sketch of Manchester, and this is quite a detail rich picture, but I'm going to show you some of the ways that I simplify the details and some of the ways that I use both watercolour and fine liner and even sort of gel pen sometimes to create a lot of the effects of detail without actually drawing a detail, if that makes sense. But before we start this wonderful little lively urban sketch, I want to just show you some of these brushes. Now, I have received these brushes from Artify, and yes, I will take free brushes off you, definitely, but can you please send me something that I'll use, you know? So I got these mop brushes, and I've used them a few times now, and I have to say, they're very good. The quality of Artify brushes, I've used them in the past, have always been very good. And these are the squirrel hair variety, so these are the sort of professional materials wise, the professional ones. And as you can see here, there's a small one, a medium one, and a slightly bigger one. And yeah, I think they're very good. I really enjoy painting with squirrel brushes. I think you can get some very sharp detail points, but you also get a really big capacity for carrying paint. And ultimately what that means is when you're doing a big wash, you can do an awful lot without recharging your brush. And it means if you like to get a bit wet and wild with your watercolours like I do, you know, mop brushes are really good for that. So thanks to Artify for that, and let's crack on with the good stuff. So what I'm going to do here is just show you initially how I go and put some sky in, and this is just done with the cobalt blue. I'm not being too fussy, it's quite gestural, it's quite rough. And this is in my Pith sketchbook, which isn't very thick paper. It's not actually ideal for big watercolours. It's okay, it can take a few washes, but it doesn't like to get too saturated because it buckles quite easily. Not like some of the thicker paper from Etcher or Stillman and Burn and those sketchbooks that can really take the wash. So here I'm using some of this turquoise for the building in the background. You can see the reference drawing on the left hand side. I'm not being shy with my pigment here, I'm going straight in, and this is all in that same initial wash. I'm putting in some of this lovely Pyrrole orange, one of my favourite colours, and you know, you could kind of argue just leave it there, because actually that's lovely just as it is. And it's often the case, I think, when I go back and I look at some of these demos that I've done, often there's a bit where I go, oh, that's lovely, don't do any more. So there's a lot to be said for like partial colouring, you know, like minimal colouring. And actually here, you know, this for me is a really good place to actually stop. Like, do not colour the bottom, like leave all the cars, leave all the road. Don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it. You're going to do it, aren't you? And then all of a sudden it becomes, you've done the whole painting. And I just like it sometimes when it's partially coloured. So yeah, that's a big blob of paint in there, isn't it? That's quite bold. So I've gone in with that French Ultramarine. Yeah, interesting. So with that big blue bit, I'm just dropping in a little bit of Van Dyke Brown, and I'm going to just dilute it a little bit, and that's going to take away some of that. And then I'm adding in a little bit of the Van Dyke Brown on the left hand side with a little bit more blue to create some shadows on that far left. But I will go back in and add further shadow details as we go. And then there's a few other areas where I'm going to add in a little bit of that natural sienna, which is a kind of yellow ochre colour in there. And again, you know, I'm painting right up to the edge of the page here. I could have actually made the whole thing a little bit smaller and sort of brought it in a bit and left a little bit of an air gap, if you know what I mean, around that. So while we're still on the first wash here, I'm taking the opportunity of adding some variation into that wash. And that means that it sort of breaks up some of those solid lumps of colour, which is actually quite nice, you know. So there we are, and that's the sort of the initial stage. And before it completely dries, you can see I'm adding in a little bit of variation in the road at the bottom. So that's going to have a hair dry now, and then we can come back in and add some more shadows. So there we go with the hair dry. So one of the first things I'm going to do here is just add in some of the darker areas on top of the tower. I'm not quite sure why that's blue when I think actually on top of the tower it's more of a black, but yeah, it's a bit weird. And then I'm looking at various areas here and thinking, like, where's the shadow coming across from that building to that building, and sort of just blocking in some of those areas of shadow, working on some of those window details on the left hand side. This drawing is one of those ones where when you see it finished, it kind of looks weirdly more impressive than it is, if you know what I mean. It's very much a constituent parts type thing, you know, like there's a bit here and a bit there and a bit here and a bit there, and when you pull it all together, it looks quite cool. But the elements really, the painting elements are fairly minimal, if that makes sense. Maybe not minimal, but it's not complicated painting. What's complicated about it really is the line work. And the line work for this, I mean, it's only A5, and the line work for this took like, I don't know, about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. It wasn't a huge sketch, but, you know, it's a lot of practice, a lot of years practice to actually be able to do that quickly and accurately without figuring out loads of stuff about perspective and planning it all. You know, it's very much freehand. It's just, yeah, it's all just dropped in freehand, that. So again, there's a shadow which isn't necessarily in the original reference drawing here. And I've changed my track with this a little bit, and I've decided to go with quite a strong shadow from that building across the floor. And then obviously I'm going to have to incorporate some more shadow in the buildings as well as we go. So under there is one, and then we have all the little dots that I'm putting in on top of the sort of windows. Have you noticed I'm just doing a little dot in the top of the windows? And that's because that's where the shadow is going to be, effectively. You know, you're just going to have under the sill. Is it the sill at the top of the window? No, it's the bottom, but at the top of the window aperture, you're going to get little bits of shadow popping through. So here, in terms of the vehicles, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add in some dark around the windows. I'm going to go back with the vehicles. I'm going to paint in some of the bright work, you know, not the bright work, the paint work. But initially, there's one of the things I'm going to do is just paint in some of those windows black. And then I'm going to just merge a little bit of that pigment in the bottom left-hand corner. It's quite dark, that. I should maybe have been a bit more careful with the application of that, but, you know. Ho-hum dog's bum. So as you can see now, I've started to actually paint in a few of these little cars here. And what I'm doing is I'm leaving a few white areas for like highlights. It's nothing too fancy really. I'm not really conforming to what the reference drawing has as in terms of like details. I'm choosing my own colours. I want them to be colour pops as much as anything, you know, just a bit of interest to the image. And the taillights are always nice, those little red dots of the taillights. I'm just adding in a little bit of more shadow under the cars and various bits where I just want them to be some more darkness on, you know, some of those areas. And then with the grey that I've mixed for that, I'm just adding in a little bit more shadows for various parts of the building, and I just increase the contrast a little bit in some of the areas. And then some of the windows that are closer to me, what I'm doing here is I'm actually kind of filling them in. And I think this just because actually you can see a lot more of those windows that are really close to the viewer there. And then really, I think this is the last hairdryer that we're going to do here, and then do the finishing touches. So now what you're seeing here is on the in the background, I'm adding in some highlights on the glazing of that you know, that building in the background. But I actually don't really like the highlights. I think I'm kind of wanting to get them knocked back a little, so I'm wetting them. And the gel pen, you know, it's water soluble, so if you ever put a mark on with the white gel pen and you just think, I don't really like that, you can always just kind of brush it off a little bit, you know what I mean? And it's quite useful to know. So we'll add in a few more marks just on that glazing, and then we're over to the right hand side really, once I've finished putting a few of those little highlights on there. So on the right hand side here, what I'm doing is I'm adding in some window frame details. And you don't have to do it all, you can just do a sort of suggestion. You're only going to see the left hand side of the window there, so a couple of lines is really all you need. And it has a lovely sort of sketchy vibe to it. Add in some little details, little dots on the vehicle, tiny little highlight on the top of the wheel tyre. Doesn't really need that. I mean, I think I actually removed that with my finger pretty much straight away. I'm putting just a couple of marks on the left hand side there, just to add a little bit of something to it. And there's a few areas on the stonework that you can add a couple of highlights to, and again it just adds a little bit of interest, you know. It's no bad thing. So a little bit further back now, I'm adding in again a few highlights, maybe a little bit of a suggestion of some window frames. I mean, on that left hand side. And then further back on the left hand side, I'm just going to do a few more additional marks further back there, and I think that's the end of the story. So if we look at the final image here, so let's start at the top. We've got a bit of a splashy, crazy sky that seems to have burst out the page. I quite like that. I quite like the some of the overpainting, you know, on that left hand side, the fact that it's kind of bursting out the side of the building. The lines that extend out the top of the tower are quite fun, you know what I mean, they add a kind of bit of drama. And as we get down to the middle of the image, you can see there appears to be a lot more kind of texture or detail than there actually is. There isn't that much detail. Well, I guess there is quite a lot of detail in it, but it's more the idea that you're sort of painting the effect that the detail has. And then we can make our way slowly down here and have a look at the bottom of the image. Now I think in some ways this is perhaps the least successful bit, particularly that shadow. I do not like that shadow. I just don't think it kind of works. It doesn't have enough of a crispness to the angles. It's a bit lazy. I love the cars, they're really cool. So yeah, I think it's a pretty lovely sketch. There's a bit in the middle there maybe where I absolutely love that. I think that's really cool. But overall it was a really good fun one, so I hope you enjoyed that. That was just a kind of a bit of a whiz through really, because the content was nice, the drawing was nice. I didn't want to just waste it, you know, and it might have other uses. I'm yet to see about that, so well, at least you've got a chance to see it. It's a nice little YouTube one, a short one for my YouTubers, and yeah, it'll probably be the same length, this one on my Patreon, because I don't think I can really make it into a much longer one, or maybe it's just it doesn't merit it. I don't know. But anyway, there we go. It is what it is. So like and subscribe and all that jazz. If you're watching this, thank you for viewing this, and let me know what you think. You know, drop a comment down below. It's always lovely to have any feedback. Sometimes you just feel a bit like when you're creating this content, you are a bit in a bubble. So if it can spark a bit of a conversation, that's wonderful. I always like to hear from you. Alright, we'll see you again. Bye bye.